and welcome to Dressmakers Closet. My name's Jane. Today's video is a tutorial on how I made this gorgeous oversized detachable collar. So if you're interested in how I made mine, please stay tuned. So hi and welcome back. So before I go into the tutorial, I've got my coffee and I thought I'd give you a little bit of inspiration, a little bit of background into how I created this collar. They're all over the internet, they're so on trend at the moment. Everywhere you see, you'll see this type of collar. But I don't want to copy what other people are doing. I thought I would draft my own. I know that there is a free, I think Tilly and the Buttons has brought out a free template for you to download if you fancy having to go at making that one. And I think a few of the pattern companies have also got them as well. But I don't like to copy, I don't like to use other people's patterns if I can create one myself. I'm all about using my own creative juices, shall we say. So I set two, you'll see it all in the video. I created my own. I wanted something with a little bit more of a pointy collar rather than the rounded collar, and this is the outcome. So without further ado, no more waffle from me. Grab your coffee and I'll show you how I come to make my collar. So I've made a pattern for you to download if you want to have a go at using mine, or you can alternatively draft your own. Here you can see I'm just drafting the collar shape that I wanted. I wanted to go for something a little bit more of a pointy section to the collar, and I spent a little bit of time getting this just right, and you can see me obviously cutting out and getting it ready. So there's my template in the background, which I've then created into a PDF for you. And the next bit, which is my hardest decision, is to decide what fabrics to make my collar in. I have some gorgeous Moda fabric cotton prints that I've had for quite some time, and I hate cutting into fabrics. I don't know whether you're the same as me, but then I opted for this gorgeous floral cotton with a lovely black background with lots of different colours in for the one side of the collar, the main side of the collar, but it is reversible, so you can use either side if you choose two fabrics, or alternatively you can just stick with the one fabric. And I went for this gorgeous fabric anyway for the top side, I suppose. And just getting ready to cut out and deciding what I'm going to use for my under fabric and my contrasting ties. So I went for this pretty little kind of gingham cotton to go as the contrasting fabric. So I just laid them both on top of each other, just cut them out together. So you need to put your pattern piece on the fold. All the instructions are in the PDF though if you do decide to download the pattern, and obviously you need to cut it out. And also enough room there for my two ties, and I'm just going to cut out the two ties. Just using the template as well. So then just need to cut out my ruffle, and I have put the dimensions for the ruffle in the instructions, and cut out obviously near enough double the length of your outside of your collar to give you that lovely ruffle. So I'm just cutting out my two pieces. So I've chose to do the matching ruffle in the main fabric because I didn't have enough length in the fat quarters that I was using for the under fabric. But you can just use whatever fabric you've got, and if you don't have enough in the width, you can always add the pieces together, sew them together to give you that extra length that you need. So just because you don't have that length in your fabric does not mean you can't make your ruffle. You just may have to sew your pieces together. So here we go, I've got my two collar pieces, my two long frill pieces, and my two ties. So I'm just going to iron my ties. So first of all, I'm going to fold them in half, iron them in half to give me that lovely section, press section down the middle. And I'm just going to iron over the ends and then iron again into the middle, kind of creating like a bias binding effect, and then fold again in half and pin in place, and that will give me my two ties. So I do that for both of the ties. And once I've got them pinned, I'm just going to take to the machine and top stitch them both together. I'm also just ironing my long ruffle pieces, and I'm just going to sew the two short ends together using 1 centimetre seam allowance, just to give me that extra length for my ruffle. And there you can see me just top stitching my neckties, a couple of millimeters away from the edge. Did that for both of the ties, and just joining my ruffle pieces together along the two short edges. And then for the edges, I like to sew the edges neatly, so I've just turned them right sides together, the two short edges, and stitched across again 1 centimetre seam allowance. And then I'm just going to turn them both through, and like so, and just make them nice and neat by just using the point of my scissors to make sure the corners are nice and crisp. And they're the ends of the frill, so they're nice and neat for the outside of the collar. And now I'm just going to do my 2 rows of gathering stitches. I've got my machine stitch onto the longest stitch, number 5, and I'm just going to sew 2 rows of gathering stitch all the way along. The first row I usually do for my 1 centimetre seam allowance, and then my second row I usually move my needle across slightly to the right and do my second row adjacent to that first row. It is quite a long piece of ruffle, to be fair. It seems to go on forever. So there you can see my 2 rows, and now I just need to pull 2 of the top threads there on the end to gather the ruffle all the way along. So it does take quite a while, and it can tend to fray a little bit as you pull it. As you can see, mine's frayed quite a little bit, but that's okay because that will get stitched in. And I'm just quickly going to press my collar pieces, give them a little bit of a press, make them nice and neat and crisp. It is worth spending that little bit of time to press as you go when you're doing your sewing or your dressmaking. It definitely does make a difference to the end result. So I'm just pressing both pieces. And I'm just giving my ruffle a press as well. I never used to press my ruffles, but with this amount of length of ruffle, and it can get a little bit unruly, it is worth pressing it. It does help when you're attaching it to the collar. As you can see, it does tend to curl over on itself, and if you don't press it, it does make the task a little bit harder. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a press and evening out the gathers as I go, just to make sure the gathers even all the way along, because as I say, it is quite a long piece of ruffle. So there we go, ready to attach to the collar. So I've got my ties ready, and on the pattern I have got a little notch on either end of the collar, 1 centimetre seam allowance, and you need to place your tie just by that notch. And once you've got your ties pinned in place, just move them out the way, pin them down so they don't get caught up in the collar and the frill when you're sewing them together. Yeah, so just keep them out the way there. And now I'm just using my quilting clips to clip the frill around the edge of the collar. So you want raw edges together, so you want the nice folded edge of your frill facing inwards on your collar, on your raw edges meeting the raw edge of the collar. You can either pin it in place or use the quilting clips that I'm using here, which I think are a lot quicker. And then once you've got your frill evenly distributed around your collar, I'm taking a little bit of time here just to make sure it's all equal and sits nice and flat on the collar. You need it to sit nice and flat on the collar. You don't want any extra fabric bunching up or anything like that. So as you can see, I'm just adjusting the frill just so it's nice and neat and even all the way around, and the collar sitting nice and flat there, you can see. And now I'm placing right sides together, my under collar, shall we say, or the different fabric that I'm using for the reverse side of the collar, and I'm just clipping that on top as well. And then I've pinned the neckline. So once you're happy with how it's looking and it's looking nice and flat, there's no extra bunching up of fabric, then you're ready to take it to the machine and sew all the way around. I like to start at the back of the neck in the center where I've made those pins, and you just sew all the way around, leaving that gap like so. I've stitched it on the machine, took my time, removed all the clips, and I'm now just clipping the curved edges. This will help when you turn it through and trimming the bulk off the corners. Just turn it through. And to help get the corners nice and neat, I use a pointy edge stick or a crochet hook, especially because my template is quite pointy on the corners, so I like to make sure I get it really neat before I stitch up that closure at the neck edge. And I'm just giving it a final press. On both sides, trimming away any excess cottons, and I'm ready to sew up that neck edge. Just pinned the neck edge, and I'm just going to top stitch all the way around that neck edge, a couple of millimeters away from the edge, just a nice top stitch to close it up and finish off that edge. So next is that little task that you have to do to take out all the gathering threads that are showing through. So this does take a bit of time to get rid of them all, but it's worth it in the end. I'm just trimming away all the frayed bits of fabric that's come through, and obviously the gathering threads. So I'm just using my stitch ripper, my faithful sewing tool, to pull out those gathering threads. So what seems like forever and a day, I've finally got to the end of pulling out all those threads, and there is my pretty collar with its contrasting reverse side and ties and that gorgeous ruffle, and I just absolutely love it. So I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. That's how I come to create my very own oversized collar. As I say, I've created it into a PDF, so you too can create this exact same one if you fancy, which you can purchase in my shop. And it's also been graded for different sizes as well, so it's not just one size fits all, because one size doesn't necessarily fit all. And the beauty of it is it's reversible, and it's brilliant for scrap fabrics. You can mix and match your fabrics, and you can create so many different looks. It just transforms a plain neckline into something a little bit more special. So hope you enjoyed today's video, hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know if you did. Let me know if you're going to have a go at making one. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and if you just found my channel and you'd like to follow along with all my dressmaking, my tutorials and my vlogs, my cozy vlogs, please hit the subscribe button and that bell, and then you'll never miss on any of my creative content. So the reason why I chose, one of the reasons why I chose this, the main reason why I chose this fabric is because if you know me, you know I love a bit of floral. That's one of the main reasons, but because there's so many different colours I can use out of this one collar. Obviously it's got the black background, so straight away there's the black, and it's got the gorgeous mustard. That's why I've paired it with my mustard toppy pinafore. Goes great. There's that beautiful bright cerise reddy pink. There's also that corally pale pink, which I picked out with my long sleeve skinny tee. There's obviously the mustard, there's yellow, there's also gorgeous shades of greens. I mean, how many colours I can mix and match this collar with is unreal. I shall be able to make loads of different outfits with this collar, no doubt about it. And also, because it's reversible and I've chosen a different fabric, I can turn it over and I can wear it as a completely different look. And you don't have to make it reversible either. You can just use one fabric for both sides, or you can maybe just use the same fabric for both sides with a contrasting ruffle, contrasting ties. You can do anything you like with this collar, to be fair, and I really do love it. It's just so pretty, and I will be making a few more, I think. And I'm thinking a nice white broderie anglaise type one might go quite nice too, and that will go with lots of outfits through the summer. I'm just eyeing up some fabrics that I've got on my shelf that would go quite nice, just maybe a plain one over a nice linen dress or something like that. So that's got me thinking there too. But anyway, so yeah, so that's why I chose this fabric in the end, and I absolutely love it. And it's just a great accessory, just transforms a plain neckline, pop your collar on, and there you go, you've just created a completely different look. And also I think these make great little gifts. Fabulous little gifts for like Mother's Day or birthdays, or just to say thank you. Enjoy the PDF pattern if you do decide to download it. As I say, the link to the PDF pattern is in the description box below, and the beauty of that is you can download the pattern, then you can replay this video and you can follow along with me when you make your own. But until the next time, thanks for joining me, and I shall see you on my next video. But until then, please take care, and happy sewing and happy creating. Bye for now.